Welcome to another Altar Chat. Today we're talking about the joys and benefits, maybe just the benefits, of going slowly on your spiritual journey. This is not what most people want to hear, particularly when they're starting out. If there is one issue that people who are just having a spiritual awakening or just deepening it, just trusting it for the first time, really, it's very, very common for people to want all of the things to happen right away. And the reason that we want this is it's a form of validation. And before we know really how to trust ourselves, and that's a process and that unfolds over time and just being in different situations, we want external validation, and we want the fireworks and the big, white light, angels, extraterrestrials knocking on our door maybe, and telling us, yeah, you're on the right track. So nobody and nothing can validate that except for you. But there's a much more practical reason to go slowly, a few practical reasons really, on your journey. And I'm here to tell you that it is okay, and it's even desirable, not to force and, sit there. You can actually become incapacitated by the forcing. It's like forcing a relationship. It would have gone okay. You don't know what beautiful things might have come out of this, but I think we've all probably been in some point in our lives in the situation of really wanting a certain outcome, be it friendship, love relationship, job relationship, whatever. And you know what happens when we forced it, right? Like we probably drove whatever we wanted that much further away. So your spiritual journey is like this. And we're going to distill this down to the kind of a finite form. People talk a lot about raising our vibration. What we're really doing that's energetics, right? And really, there's all kinds of like trappings and accoutrements, and we're staring at my altar with all these things on it. They're really just ways of reading energy and ways of interpreting and ways of, that make sense to us. And we all have our tarot decks that speak to us more than others, and we understand the images in them more than others. I really love reading runes. Really we don't need any of these materials, but we like them, and it makes it easier and beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with that. Since we're getting energetic, and when we deepen our journeys, we're deepening our energetics. I'm trying to keep this so simple. We're leveling up, our spiritual energetics are changing, our physical, mental, just our whole field, our whole state of being is changing. And we can only handle so much. So if we had the huge, like, lightning bolts of energy, and suddenly we could see all of the things, and we were clairaudient and clairvoyant and all the stuff, it would just fry our circuits. It would fry your brain. I don't desire that at all, because I can recall too many states where I was just overwhelmed with input, and it was extremely uncomfortable. It was not cool. It was not a movie, wow, this is awesome moment. It was an, oh my goodness, make this stop, please. Take it away moment. And we don't want that, because that requires recovery. That's a trauma to your system. It's like, sticking a fork in a light socket, or, in extreme cases, touching some kind of, wire that's exposed. You don't want that. It's too much for your body to handle. Getting struck by lightning, people do survive, but nobody, wishes for that. And sometimes they end up speaking, 90 languages, and they couldn't do that before. Still not the path. you know, if interviewed, I'm not sure anybody would say, well, I'm really glad it happened. You know, so be gentle with yourself. We're not supposed to know everything right away. The soul takes some time. The soul expects some time. If you learned everything right away, you would just cease to exist. And do you want that, you know? It may sound dramatic and it may sound extreme, but imagine you just changing everything overnight, practically overnight, and everybody you know having to just shift around to like accommodate that. That's a big ask. It's a big ask for every soul that you're connected to. So for right now, just know that the really big, wow, oh my gosh, firework, you know, lightning trick moment was a cumulative effect of when you realized there's more out there, and it wasn't just because you were in a mood that day or you had something to drink or, you know, like you drank too much alcohol and got some big ideas, or you read a book that put you in a certain mood. There's a very tangible moment when we know that there's more and that we are sensing more than we're quote unquote supposed to according to society. That's the big lightning strike moment. You've had it. You wouldn't be here otherwise. Everything that happens from this point forward, it's just preparing you for more stuff. And so in between the things that happen, right, there's a chance for some gratitude. And gratitude can be sort of an annoying word. I think people get a little bludgeoned by that term sometimes. But, you know, just some like, I can go walk around outside if I choose to and not be totally overwhelmed by every single thing I come into contact with. I could go outside and enjoy this really nice autumn day that we're having here, without having every tree and rock and, you know, horse, person, dog, cat, bird, you know, wind, earth, everything speaking to me. I don't need that level of consciousness right now. There's no reason to have that. What I do have is a continual deepening and understanding of things my soul is wanting to learn, especially right now with it coming up on October 31st time. A very heightened awareness of past imprints from different lives, different timelines, different possibilities. And actually, I personally, you know, this may apply to you. I'm dealing with a lot of grief right now in the sense of past possibilities and things that could have been, you know, sometimes the things that never were are harder to handle than the things that actually happened. And that's interesting. They're like ghosts, right? So you have embarked on your journey very bravely, I might add, because for every person who does embark, there are probably at least, you know, 10 other people who are silencing that within themselves. And that's their karmic right, you know, that's their soul's right. But just know that not everybody steps up. So I hate when, you know, I hear people kind of get lost in, I know, you know, I'm awakening, I've had a spiritual awakening, but I can't do all this cool stuff yet. Like, it's really not the point. The cool thing is that you're here. And I wish for you to feel empowered by that knowledge and empowered that you're giving yourself the grace to develop, you know? Your seed is unfurling, and you know, what flower will you be? What crop will you be? Will you come back year after year, or will you be something different? It's all very interesting. And so the same way we don't boss nature really, you know, we try to live in harmony with what's happening outside and dress accordingly and honor different, you know, areas of the wheel of the year. go into ourselves, go into nature, accordingly. Just know that these seasons are happening within yourself as well. It's never going to stop. And I think that is the really big takeaway I want to make sure that you leave with tonight. Your growth is not going to stop, even if it feels like nothing is happening. It's happening. I promise you. That goes for every single person. I don't have to even know you personally. I can say this with absolute authority. Your growth isn't going to quit. So go to bed feeling good about yourself. You stepped up. And you admitted the journey that you're on. You even admitted that you don't totally know the journey you're on, and you're willing to be there to face whatever does and doesn't show up. Congratulations. Go slow, take your time, accept that where you are is exactly where it's okay to be right now. It's where you're meant to be to prepare you for what's coming next. And honor yourself. The biggest favor you can do is to honor where you are, because in the honoring of where you are, you open yourself up to further gifts. Good night.